This is the Roulette Master, and one of my subscribers, David Scaglia from Italy, says he has created the best roulette system of all time, and he says this will make you money each and every day, and I can't wait to share with you how he's doing it. He calls this extraordinary roulette because it is extraordinary, and let's go ahead and place the bets and get started with David Scaglia's Extraordinary Roulette. And here we go, dollar bet on 000. We're going to have a corner bet here on the 1, 2, 4, 5. We have some split bets on the 15, 18, 14, 17, 13, 16. These are dollar bets to start. And we're also going to have 2 corner bets on these ones right here. You can see those overlap a little bit. And then we're going to have a $2 bet on 19 to 36 and a dollar bet on first 12. The only one that's $2 is 19 to 36. The rest of them are $1 or 1 unit. And we have a $10 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. All right, I can't wait to share with you all the rules to this and how it helps him make money every day. And that's a $2 win to start. We're just going to rebet and spin, and we're here at base level. Some of the bets are going to pay more than others. And again, we have some bets that overlap a little bit over there on those corners on the right side. We're going to keep track of how many times we double on this one because we're only going to double a certain amount of times with losses. This is our first double. We're going from 10 to 20. So that's what we're keeping track of so far, and that's a 17 black. Okay, that's a nice $16 win. We're up $12. We're going to go back to our original $10 bet and spin, and here we go. All right, that is a 22 black. That's a $6 loss, so this is our first double. We're keeping track of those doubles, and once we get to a certain amount of doubles, we're not going to do it anymore. And that's a 14 red. That's a nice $16 win. We're up $22. We're going to go back to 10 where we started. Now we have our $10 bet again, and let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 14 red. That's an $8 win. We're up $30. We'll just rebet and spin. We're still here at base level. And here we go. That's an 18 red. That's a nice $8 win. We're up $38. And David says he wins with this every day and has a complete coverage of the board. And that is a 10 there, or the wheel. And we're going to go ahead and double now from 10 to 20. And we're going to keep track of how many doubles we have. So that's really, really important with this one. Super easy, but it's something that you have to do. That's a 31 black. That's a $6 win. We're up $37. We're going to go back to 10. And every time we reset, we start counting our doubles again. Once we get to a certain amount of doubles, we're going to stop doubling, and then the progression is going to change. Okay, we're going to double for the first time. We're going from 10 to 20. So we're keeping track of that. That's our number one goal so far, and that's an 8 black. Okay, that's 2 losses. So we're going to go ahead and double a second time. Now we're at $40. And here we go. That's a 17 black. That's a nice win. So we're at $49. We can go back to 10 and then we start counting again. But we're only going to double a certain amount of times, and then the progression is going to change and we're not going to be doubling anymore after that. So here we go. That's a 3 red. That's a loss, so we're going to double for the first time, go from 10 to 20 and spin. And here we go. All right, let's see what we get here. That's a 28 black. That's a $6 win. We're up $48. We go back to 10 and spin. So far, so good. Let's see what we get here. And I can't wait to test this one further, but I have so much more to share with you about this system. So make sure you stick around. We're up $51, and you need to know all the rules to this one to play it effectively. Here we go. That's a 21 red. Okay, that's a $6 loss. We double for the first time. And again, we start out with $2 on 19 to 36. All those other bets are $1. Or 1 unit, however you want to play it. But I'll go over the bankrolls here coming up. That's a $6 win. We're at $51. Let's go back to 10 and spin. And David says the more that you're able to reset, the safer it is, as with all systems. So if you're close to session profit, you definitely want to reset. We're at $59 now. And let's rebet and spin, because I think you all probably will agree that the key to a really great roulette system is maintaining your bankroll and consistently making profits. That's an 11 black, and that's a loss. We're going to double for the first time. That's what we're keeping track of with this one, is how many times we double, and we're at 1 right now. And that's a 0. That's a win. Okay, that's a $16 win. We're up $68. We're going to go back to 10 and spin. And we're only going to double 4 times. And then once we've doubled 4 times, I'll share with you how we're going to increase after that. So that's another win. We're up $71. And so far, we're doing what David said or what's happening is what David said is happening. We're winning, and that's a 32 red. That's a $3 win. We're up $74. We'll go ahead and rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 24 black. Okay, that's a $3 win. We're up $77. Let's go ahead and spin again. And the bankroll is going to be key too, which we're going to go over next, because you need a large bankroll and small starting bets to have a system like this that's effective over long periods of time. We're up $85, and that's going to be really key, as well as also too, though, what happens to the progression after 4 doubles. That's a 26 black. Okay, that's a $3 win. We're up $88. So we'll go ahead and rebet and spin, and here we go. All right, that is a 16 red. That's a nice $8 win. We're up $96. And here we go. Let's keep it rolling. And then if we have, once we hit hard times, I want to see how this progression works on that. That's a 28 black. If we ever do start hitting hard times, because right now we're just cruising. And let's see how it goes. All right. That's a 22 black. Okay, that's our first loss, so we double and we start counting. So that's 1 loss. We're only going to double 4 times, and then the progression is going to change. Okay, that's a 30 red. That's a second loss, so we go ahead and we double for a second time. We're keeping track of this. We're only going to double 4 times. That's a 6 black. Okay, that's our third loss. We're going to double for a third time. So we'll go over the progression right now. It's always best if you go through it as it's happening. And that's a 36 red. Okay, we're going to double for a third time to 160 and spin. And this is a $2,000 bankroll system, which is one of the keys to his winning. And that's a 14 red. Okay, that's a $128 win. We're up $133. So now I'll go over what would have happened if we hadn't won that one, because we're only going to double up to 4 times. If you lose 4 times and you double 4 times, the next thing you're going to do is go up 4 units. So all the dollar bets would go up by $4. All the $2 bets, or the one $2 bet on 19 to 36, would go up $8 instead of $4. So now we're going to go back to our $10 bet. We're back where we're supposed to be, and let's go ahead and place those bets again. So we have $1 on 000. We have $1 right here on the 1, 2, 4, 5 corner. $1 on first 12. $2 on 19 to 36. We've got $1 on these 2 corners right here that overlap with that 26 there. And then we also have some split bets here. So let's go ahead and put those down there. And there's our $10 bet. Let's go ahead and spin again here. And then I need to share with you what happens after you increase by 4 units. That's a 32 red. Okay, that's a $3 win. We're up $136. Let's go ahead and spin, because it doesn't continue on with the 4 units up either. That's a 35 black. That's a $6 loss, so we double the bet for the first time, and we start counting, because again, we only double 4 times. Then the 5th time that we lose, we go up 4 units. That's a 0. $16 win. We're up $146. Let's go back to 10. And looks like I took 1 too many off of somewhere there. Let's go ahead and figure out where I took it from. Oh, wait, right here. Okay, let's go ahead and spin. It was off one of those split bets there. That's a 20 black. Okay, that's a loss, so we'll double for the first time and start counting. And again, we double 4 times, then we go up 4 units. And that's a 24 black. And then coming up, I'm going to share with you what happens if you lose after you go up 4 units. That's important too. We're up $146. Let's go back to 10. And David says anytime you have the chance to restart, always do, even if you're not in session profit. If you're somewhat close to it, go ahead. That's a 13 black, and that's an $8 win. So we're up $154, and let's rebet and spin. And here we go. So it's a $2,000 bankroll system. And again, that's one of the keys to this. It's a large bankroll for a $10 starting bet. We're up $162. But what that does is it makes sure you have a lot of chances to recover, which is definitely one of the biggest keys to consistently winning when you're playing roulette. And that's a 14. That's a nice $8 win. We're up $170 now. And let's go ahead and spin. And for how small the wins are, we're doing really well. That's a 16 red. Another $8 win. We're up $178. I mean, we're getting close to $200 profit here. And we really haven't been in much trouble at all. So here we go. That's a 33 black. That's a $6 loss. So we start doubling. That's number 1. We do that up to 4 times. Then we go up 4 units. If you lose after you go up 4 units, what you're going to do from there is leave the bet the same. So we'll go over that here in a second. We're up $176. Let's go back to 10. So you double up to 4 times, you go up 4 units, and if you don't win after you go up 4 units, you leave the bet the same and you flat bet from there out. So that way you don't keep increasing the bet. Let's go ahead and spin. And David says that has really helped him not lose his bankroll as well. And he says even at that level, you'll continue to make money even without increasing those bets. So let's go ahead and double. This is number 1. The first time that we doubled, again, we keep track of that. We do it only up to 4 times, and that's a $4 win. So we're up $176. Let's go back to 10. And you don't always have to be in session profit. Once you get a win, if you're somewhat close to it, just go ahead and restart and keep winning. That's a 14 red. That's an $8 win, and we're up $184. And that's one of the reasons why the final stage of this is flat betting, is because David says a lot of times you don't have to increase the bets to win with this system. And that's a $7 loss. So our first double is on the way. We're keeping track of that up to 4, and then we go up 4 units after that. So 4 doubles, then up 4 units, then keep the bet the same. Okay, that's a $14 loss. We're doubling for the second time. We're only doing that up to 4 times. And that's the most important thing, is that you keep track of that. And that's a 27 red. That's a $12 win. We're up 175. And guess what? We're going to go back to 10 and take a little bit of a loss. Because, again, this system is all about maintaining your bankroll and consistently winning. We're not trying to win thousands of dollars immediately. We're trying to milk the system and continually make profit. And there's always small setbacks in systems that do that. In fact, I've seen a couple of those this week where if you don't have a system that takes small setbacks when things go bad, then it can really, and we're going to double the bet here for the first time and start counting again. That's one thing that really helps the system not bust. And that's a 20 black. Okay, that's our second loss, so we double for a second time. We only do that up to 4 times. Then we go up by 4 units, and that's a 34 red. Okay, that's a third loss, so we double for the third time. And I wanted to play this a little while till it got in trouble, because it's just been cruising along so far. So let's see what happens here. That's a 16 red. But we finally got a win there, so we're up $199, so we definitely want to reset back to 10. And let's get over $200 profit here. So let's go back to our original $10 bet. And remember, they're all 1 unit except for the 2 units on 19 to 36. And here we go. Okay, that's a 17 black. That's a nice $8 win. Okay, now we're up $207. That's pretty awesome. So I hope you really enjoyed this one, the Extraordinary Roulette System by David Scaglia from Italy. And thank you, David. If you guys want to send a system in like this, please send it to roulettemaster.c gmail.com. And if you want to stick around, there's an incredible roulette system that's trending on YouTube right now that I'm about to share with you. Let's jump right into that and get started. Here we go. Thanks for sticking around. This next video is trending on YouTube right now with almost 400,000 views. This is Kicked Out of the Casino. A lady was using a system that was winning so much money, the casino kicked her out. This is that story, and it shares with you how she plays. Here we go. This is the Roulette Master, and I just received an email from two of my subscribers, Grant and Linda. They were at a brick and mortar casino last night, and they said they were sitting at a table with a lady that was winning more than they've ever seen before. And you're not going to believe this, but they said that after 30 minutes of play, the lady had won so much playing roulette that the casino asked her to leave. And I guess there was a big scene, and she said she was playing fair, but they kicked her out anyway. That's a pretty amazing story, and I can't wait to share with you how she was playing, because Grant and Linda wrote down her bets, and I'm going to share them with you today. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you where her bets were and then the rules for this system. You definitely want to stick around for those as well. So let's go ahead and place the bets first. We're going to have $25 on third column. We're going to have $25 on each of these splits in the third column. So let's place those. All right. And now we're going to put $10 on 0, and we're also going to put $10 on all of the corners in the first and second column. Okay, so there's our initial bet, and let's go ahead and spin. And as we go through this, I'm going to share you the rules for how to play and when to increase the bets. But let's go ahead and see what we get here first. That's a 22 black. Okay, so we lost on the first one. This is also a $2,000 bankroll system. You can see we're minus 125, but we're not going to change the bet. So we're just going to spin again. And here we go. That's a 6 black. Okay, that's a $310 win. Now all of a sudden we're up $185 already. Wow. And shoot, some of you would probably cash out right then. So let's keep going. I'm going to share with you the time when you should increase the bets once we get to that, and a bunch of other stuff. So there's a 125 loss. So now we're up 60. Again, we're not changing the bets yet. We're just going to spin again. And there's going to be certain triggers in this for when to increase the bets. And that's a 23 red. That's a 125 loss. So we're minus 65 right now. We're going to stay at that same level. And here we go. That's a 7 red. That's another loss. But we still haven't hit that trigger yet. We're minus 190. And let's spin. Here we go. That's a 22 black. It's another loss. And now we're minus 315. We're still staying with the same bet. And I'll share with you what that first trigger is once we get to it. And that's a 2 black. That's another loss. Okay, so now we've hit the trigger. The first trigger is minus 400. And now we're going to double the bets. And we have plenty of room within that $2,000 bankroll to do so. Let's go ahead and spin now. Here we go. All right. That's a 21 red. And we got a $620 win there. Look at that. So that's incredible. We're back up 180. Now we go back to the original bet, and that's 215. So let's do that. And I think I took one too many off. Let's see where that came from right there. Yep. Okay, we're back to the original 215 bet. Again, that's $25 on all those splits in the third column. It's 25 on the third column. It's 10 on all these corners in the first and second column, and then 10 on 0. And there's some other triggers with this as well. Again, we're up $180 right now. We're going to reset and go back to the original amount. And there's a double 0. So that's the worst possible scenario with this, is if you do hit a double 0. But we're going to keep the bet the same. because we're only at minus 35. Let's go ahead and spin. And that's the only number that's a total loss, except for the 3. And there's a nice $310 win. We're up $275 now. Except for, actually it is the only total loss because the 36 and the 3 are partially covered with the third column. So I'm going to go over all of that as we go through this as well. We're up $275 now. Let's go ahead and spin. That was a really nice win there. And here we go. That's 11 black. Okay, that's a minus 125. And remember, when you're playing this also, you can cash out at any time. I'm going to play longer today so I can show you all of the elements of the triggers and everything else. But you can play, when you get up a certain amount, if you get up $300 after the first spin, go ahead and cash out if you want. That's fantastic. And we are currently up $25. We're still at the 215 base level, and here we go. Okay, that's a 14 red. Okay, that's a minus 125, so we're minus 100. We're going to keep the bets the same and spin. Here we go. That's a 34 red. Okay, that's a minus 125. We're at minus 225 now. We're going to keep the bet the same and spin. All right, that is a 4 black. It's another loss. We're minus 350. We're going to keep the bet the same. We're at 215 base bet still. Here we go. That's a 9 red. That's a nice $310 win. So we're still at the base bet. We're not increasing. It's $215 for this base bet. I'll go over the initial bets again as we go through this. That is a 28 black. And there's a 125 loss. We're minus 165 right now, but we have a $2,000 bankroll, so we're good to go. And let's see what we get here. That's a 25 red. That's another 125 loss. We're minus 290. Still staying at the $215 base bet. So the first trigger is that $400 to double the bet. But we're not there yet. That was a nice win there. We're up $20. And then I'll cover everything else, all the other rules here pretty soon. And that's a 3 red. Excuse me. And that's a minus 140. So when I was talking earlier about the 3 and the 36, those aren't total losses because of that third column coverage. You only lose 120 on those. So we're still at the 215 base level, and we're spinning again. Here we go. And that's a 28 black. It's another loss. We are at minus 245, but we still haven't hit that first level of having to trigger the bet to increase. That's a 9 red. That's a nice $310 win there. So we're up 65, and let's spin. Here we go. All right, that is a 19 red. That's a 125 loss. And eventually here we're going to go on a nice little run of getting some third column hits, and that's when it's going to be time to cash out. And here we go. That's a 13 black. That's another loss there though, so we're minus 185. Let's rebet and spin. And this is definitely a system where you're going to find the right time to cash out. That's a 27 red. Because it definitely cycles. We just won $310 there. You can see we're back up 125 again. Here pretty soon we're going to get some wins in a row, and that's when it's going to be time to cash out. But there's a 0, and actually with this one you win with it's only a $35 loss with a 0, and we're still up 90, so we're just rebetting. But there is some money on the 0, that $10. So here we go. That is a 30 red. There's a nice $310 win. So now we're up $400. So this would be where a lot of you might say, all right, I'm ready to take the $400 and run, and definitely do that. But we're going to play longer today. I've been telling you guys I'm going to play longer with all these systems to show you what good and bad can happen, and we're going to do that. So that's a minus 125. We're up 275. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's a 00, so that's the worst case scenario. That's a total loss. The only number on the board that's a total loss. We're only up 60 now. But we haven't hit that first trigger of 400, so we're staying the same. And then there's going to be another trigger after that if things, if you do have trouble and get further down. And that's why we're going to play longer as well. I want you guys to see everything, and let's go ahead and spin. We're minus 65. Let's see what we get here. That's a 16 red. That's another loss. We are minus 190. So let's go ahead and spin again. We're on the base level still. And here we go. That's 11 black. It's another loss. So we are minus 315. Still staying at the 215 base level. Here we go. That's a 19 red. And just triggered our first double. And we're going to double the bet to 430. We still have plenty in our $2,000 bankroll, and let's spin. Let's see what we get here. That's a 30 red. All right, that's a $620 win. We're up 180 now. Now we go back to the base level. And again, that's that 215. Oh, I took one too many away. There we go. And back at 215. Again, now we're up 180, and let's spin. But we could have cashed out when we were up 400, so remember that. It's definitely is a hit and run system, but we're going to play longer so you can see everything. Also, too, I need to cover like where the next trigger is. So stick around for that, and let's spin. Here we go. I would have loved to have been in that casino with them and seen that. That would have been pretty crazy. And if you guys have any stories that where you guys have seen something like that in a casino, share it in the comments. Not only would I like to hear it, I'm sure a lot of other people would like to hear it as well. Even if it's something different, if you have any cool stories from something crazy you saw in the casino, and there's a $310 win with that 6 black. We're back up 240. That would be awesome if you would share that. And I've seen some crazy stuff myself. Definitely. So that's a 14 red. And minus 125. We're at 115 right now. And we've had lots of moments where we could have cashed out a big winner so far. But like I said, we're going to play longer. I want you guys to see everything. Plus, I'm going to share with you the next trigger point, which is going to be really important. And even if we don't get to it, I will share it with you. So we're up $425. So this is another time when we could cash out if we wanted to. We're still at the base level, 215. And here we go. That's a 2 black. That's a 125 loss. We're up 300. Let's spin at the 215 level still. And here we go. Ooh, that's the worst possible scenario, and we've hit that twice now. Okay, so that put us only up $85, but we're still at the base level because we didn't hit the first threshold of 400 yet. And oh my God, back to back. That is the worst thing ever. So that's our third 00. So again, that's why I'm playing longer. I want you guys to see that anything's possible when you play roulette. And I'm going to try to show you the good and the bad of every system. There's a 36 red. All right, that's a minus 140 because that's one of those two numbers, the 3 and the 36, that are only covered with the only coverage they have is that $25 that's on the third column. So here we go. That's a 19 red. And that's another loss. So we're not quite to the 400 trigger yet. We're going to stay at the 215 base bet. That's a 30 red. That's a $310 win, so we're only minus 85 now. Let's go ahead and rebet. Still at the base level, 215. And that's a 15 black. Okay, that's another 310 win. Nice. We're up 225 now. We're still at the base level of 215. And here we go. That's a 29 black. That's a minus 125. So we're going to rebet. Still at the base level of 215. We've had so many times when we could have cashed out with a lot of money so far. So remember that when you're playing, you don't have to play this long. So we're going to rebet now. We're minus 25. And again, still at the 215 base bet because that $400 triggers our first trigger. And again, I'm going to share with you the second one here soon. But that's a 140 loss. Again, that's one of those two numbers that is only covered by the $25 on the third column. And here we go. That's a 15 black. That's a nice 310 win. We're up 145. And you can see how this cycles. We're still at the 215 base bet. And it definitely cycles back and forth. Then you just cash out at the right time. There's a nice 310 hit also. We're up 455 now. So this is about the fourth time now we could cash out with around $400 if we wanted to. So remember that. And we're spinning again at 215. That's a 22 black. It's a 125 loss. We're at 330 profit right now. 215 total bet still. Base level. And here we go. That's a 26 black. It's another minus 125. We're up 205. Still at the 215 base bet. And here we go. That's a 32 red. That's another 125 loss. We're up 80. Still at 215 base level. Here we go. Let's see what we get. That's a 28 black. Another loss. 125. We're minus 45. And we're spinning again at 215. Still have our $2,000 bankroll. And that's a 15 black. All right, that's a $310 win. We're up 265 again. So you can see how this is cycling. We're still at the 215 base level bet. That's a 31 black. That's a 125 loss, up 140. All right, still at the 215. Here we go. All right, that's a 31 black. That's a 125 loss. We're up 15. Still at the base level. And here we go. That's a 33 black. That's a nice $310 win. We're up 325 now. Still at base level. Spinning again. And that's a 28 black. That's a 125 loss. We're up 200. And we haven't got anywhere near our $2,000 bankroll yet, which is nice to see. But it's really important that you have it. And that's why, look at that. That's the worst case scenario. Again, that's the fourth double zero we've had. And that is crazy. And that we've had that many double zeros. But anything can happen. We're not at the $400 first trigger, so we stay at the base level and spin again. And that's a 29 black. It's another 125 loss. We're minus 140. And here we go, spinning again at 215. All right, that's a 9 red. That's a nice 310 win. We're up 170. Still at the base level, 215. Here we go. That's an 8 black. Okay, that's a 125 loss. We're up 45. Spinning at the base level. Here we go. That's a 24 black. That's a nice $310 win. We're up 355, and probably it's about the fifth or sixth time we could have cashed out with $400 profit or close to. So that's pretty cool that we've had that many chances to cash out with good amounts, and that's a 36 red. And again, that's that 140 loss because that's the only covered with the $25 on the third column. And we're spinning again at base level 215. That's a 13 black, and that is a loss of 125, up 90, and we're spinning again at 215. All right, there's a 9 red. That's a nice $310 win. Now we're up 400 again. That's like the 7th time we could have cashed out with $400, so that's pretty cool. And it's just really cycling back and forth, so anytime you want, you could cash out, but we're going to play longer because that's what I've been telling you guys. I want to show you everything, and I still need to share with you the next trigger point. So we're going to play longer and see what happens. If we don't get to that, I'll share it with you anyway because you'll need to know it. And here we go. That's a 35 black. That's a 125 loss. We're up 150, still at the base level, and let's spin. All right, that's a 23 red. It's another 125 loss. We're up 25, spinning at base level 215. Here we go. That's a 22 black. It's another 125 loss. We're minus 100. Spinning again at 215 because we're not at that $400 first trigger. And here we go. There's a nice $310 win. We're back up 210, cycling back and forth, spinning at 215 again here. Here we go. That's a 16 red. It's a 125 loss. We're up 85. And we're spinning again. Here we go. And there's a 0. That's a small loss. That won't hurt us too bad. We're up 50. Still spinning at 215 here. Here we go. Okay, that's a 4 black. It's another 125 loss. We're minus 75. Spinning at the base level, 215. Let's see if we can get a win. That's a 30 red. That's a nice $310 win. Back up 235, and we're spinning again at 215. Here we go. That's a 27 red. There we go. There's another 310 win. We're up $545, and at this point we've had over 7 chances to cash out at 400, and now we have a chance to cash out at 545. So remember that. We're going to keep playing longer like I promised, but always remember how many chances that that we've had with this to cash out, and that's pretty cool. So there's a 20 black. That's a 125 loss. Up 420. 215 base bet spin. Here we go. That's an 8 black. It's another 125 loss. We're up 295. Spinning at 215. Here we go. Let's see if we can get another win. That's a 12 red. It's a nice $310 win. We're up $605. So now we've had 7 chances to cash out at 400, 1 chance at upper 500s, and now we have a 8th chance to cash out at $605. So that's pretty damn awesome, if I do say so myself. That's pretty cool. There's a 1 red. That's a 125 loss. Let's go ahead and spin again at 215 base level. And that's a 32 red. It's another 125 loss, up 355, spinning at 215. $2,000 bankroll. We haven't even come close to using it, but I'm glad it's there. But that is the 6th double zero. Oh my goodness. That is crazy, and that's the only total loss that we can have with this. We're staying at the base level 215 though because we haven't reached that $400 first trigger. And there's a 27 red. It's a nice $310 win there. We're back up 450. Spinning again at 215, and that's the base level still. That's a 30 red. That's a nice $310 win. So now we're up $760. So we've had 7 chances to cash out at 400, one chance at 550, one chance at over 600, and now we've got a chance to cash out at $760. So, wow, that's a lot of chances to cash out at a nice level. And even though it's cycling, so that's an 18 red. That's another 310 win. We are up $1,070, and now we could cash out at that as well. Still at the base level. That's a 5 red. That's a minus 125. We're up $945. So, so again, we had 7 chances to cash out at 400, one chance to cash out at 550, one at 6 something, and then one at 750 around there. And then we had a chance to cash out a second ago at around 1,050. So wow, that's incredible. So we're still base level 215, and here we go. That's a 20 black, and there's another loss. 125 loss. We're back to up 820. We're spinning at 215. Don't worry, I'm going to share with you that second trigger here. Because I know we might not get to it, but things could turn around and we might need to get to it here. So we'll see, but I'll definitely share it with you here before the end of the video. That's a 695, and we're spinning again at 215. So here we go. Oh my God, that's like the 7th double zero. And the other thing that's crazy is with 7 double zeros, which is the absolute worst thing, we still had all those chances to cash out, but look what that did to our profit. We're only up 480 now. We're still at the base level though, but that's a lot of double zeros. And I think we had one or two zeros. So there's a nice $310 win. We're up 790. Let's go ahead and spin again. Here we go. That's a 4 black. That's a 125 loss. We're down to 665 now. We're at 215 base level. Here we go. That's an 18 red. That's a nice $310 win. We're up 975. Still at the base level 215. And here we go. That's an 8 black. I believe that's a loss. And that's a 125 loss. We're at up 850 right now. So we're betting again at 215 base level, and here we go. That's a 7 red. It's another $125 loss. We're up 725. Spinning again at base level 215. Here we go. That's a 34 red. It's another $125 loss. We're up 600. Let's spin again. And that is a 6 black. That's a nice $310 win. We're up $910 again. Let's spin again at 215. Maybe they're right about this lady getting kicked out of the casino. This is doing pretty darn well. Obviously it cycles a lot though. But there's a 125 loss. We're up 785. And but they said it definitely happened, so I believe them. And most casinos wouldn't do that, but that's a pretty crazy story. We're up 660, and we're spinning at 215. Here we go. That's an 8 black. Things are starting to turn the other way. That's a 125 loss. We're only up 535 now. Still betting at 215 base level because, again, that first trigger is minus 400. There's a 35 black. That is another loss. So getting lots of losses now. We're only up 410. Spinning at the base level 215. And here we go. There's a 9 red. I believe that's a win. There's a nice $310 win. That gets us back up to 720. Spinning again, still at 215 base level. And again, when we get to minus 400 with this, we double the bet. We are up 595 even after that loss. And let's spin again at 215 base level. That's a 19 red. That's another 125 loss. We're only up 470 now. Spinning again at 215. All right, that's a 12 red. Okay, that's a nice $310 win. We're back up to 780. And, you know, this cycles a lot, and eventually you're going to hit some third columns in a row. That's when it's time to cash out, and that's an 18 red there. There's another one. There's 2 in a row. We're up to 1,090. So at this point, we've had 7 or 8 chances at 400 to cash out, a chance at 550 to cash out, a chance at 650, one at 750, one at 9. We've had 2 chances to cash out around $1,100, which is one of them right here. That is incredible. So that's a lot of chances to cash out with a lot of money. And man, this is doing fantastic. But it definitely cycles, so don't forget that part of it. There's a 20 black. There's a 125 loss. We're up 965 now, but I promised you guys I was going to keep playing these systems longer so you could see the good and the bad with both. And hopefully you're seeing that today. But there's another nice $310 win. We're up 1,275. So we've had all those chances at 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 2 chances at 1,100. Now we have a chance to cash out at 1,275. We're going to keep playing. And just remember that if you're playing, don't keep playing. Cash out when you're up that much. This is a 31 black. I'm just playing longer so you guys can see as big of a sample size as possible. We just lost that one. We're at the 215 base level again. Still where we were at. There's another loss with an 8 black. And remember too, if you're playing, I'm not going to do it because I'm going to be playing the longer session for you guys. But if you have a couple, 2, 3 losses in a row that are big, and don't try to get it all back if you're up a ton. Just take the money and run. So we're up 900 now, and we're spinning at 215. Here we go. That's a 3 red. That's a 140 loss. That's one of those 2 numbers that is only covered by the $25 on the third column. We've hit those 4 or 5 times tonight or today, and that's a 6 black. That's a $310 win. We're up 1,070 again, so already another chance to cash out over 1,000. We've had over 3 chances to cash out over 1,000. There's a 1 red. And that's a loss, 125, up $945. And here we go. Okay, that's another loss at 125. We're up 820. Let's spin. And here we go. That's a 28 black. That's another loss at 125. We're up 695 now. Spinning away. Here we go. That's a 17 black. And like I said, if you're playing like this and you're up a lot, you start having consecutive losses like this, and you start feeling like it's time to cash out, just go ahead and cash out. Who cares that you were up, 500 more a little bit ago? It doesn't change the fact that you're still up 500 and some dollars. So just leave with the money if you get that kind of a feeling. We're still at the base level 215. Again, I'm going to play longer because that's what I promised you guys, that I would start playing longer and start showing you guys more of a larger sample size of these systems. And I hope you appreciate it because I've got a lot of good comments about it, and hope that you're seeing different sides of each one of these systems. There's another loss. You can see we're getting lots of losses now. That was a 125 loss. We're still at the base level 215 because we haven't reached the $400 loss level, which is our first trigger. See, now we've had multiple losses in a row. That's another 125 loss. We're only up 180 now. And again, this is why I'm playing so long. I want you guys to see what can happen if things go south. So let's do that. You can see that's a lot of losses in a row now. We're only up 55, but we're up 1,200. So here we go. That's an 8 black. We haven't had a win in a while. That's a lot of losses in a row. We're minus 70. You guys might get to see that second trigger. I'm going to share it with you, but I didn't think I'd be showing it to you here because we were up so much. But I want you guys to see everything, and we haven't won in a long time. We're minus 195. We're spinning away. We had lots of chances to cash out over 1,200. So remember that. There's a 25 red. And there's another loss. That's a lot of losses in a row. We're not at the 400 trigger yet. We're still at the 215 base level. Here we go. That's a 16 red. That's another loss. We haven't, the last time we won one was, let's check here. Looks like 317. It's been so long since we've won one that there's not even a winning number on the left side of the screen. So, so I told you I was going to play long enough to get these triggers and have something show you both sides. So it's time to double the bets because we hit the $400 trigger. Now we're at 430. You can see we're minus 445. Let's go ahead and spin. That's a 25 red. And that's a minus 250 there. So we're staying at that level. We're minus 695. But again, we still have our $2,000 bankroll. Okay, that's 11 black. And that's another minus 250. So now we only have the 945 left. And now we just hit the second trigger. So you can see that last bet was 430, and now we have to kind of go all in if we get really bad. We're not going to go completely in, but if we, you can see our last bet was at 430. That means our next bet we're going to double, and here we go. Okay, so let's spin. Let's see if we can get a win. And that trigger was at 800, by the way. That's a 29 black. And that's a $500 loss. And at this point, we only have 550 left. So we have to go back to the one before this, which was 430. So let's do that. And make sure these are right. Okay, so, okay, we're at 430 now. Let's go ahead and spin. We need to get a win. That's a 17 black. And that's another loss. So now we only have $300 left. We would have to go back to that and spin. And this is why I'm playing long. This system worked fantastic for a long time. But there's a 25 red. And now we only have $95 left. So it doesn't look like we're going to win because I played too long. So that's a really good, yeah, we don't even have enough to place another bet now. So basically then we would lose our bankroll. But just think how many chances we had to win and run with the money. We had over 8 chances at $500 profit. I mean, at $400 profit, we had a couple at 5, couple at 6, couple at 7, couple at 900. We had 3 chances to cash out at 1100. We had a chance to cash out at almost 1300 at 12 something. So we had a million chances to cash out. And like I told you guys before, if I was playing, I would have cashed out at any of those times over $500. However, I promised you guys that I would keep playing until you could see the bad with the good, so that you know what it is. Roulette, and no system is completely that it can't lose ever. If there's really bad numbers, anything will lose. So always remember that. But this system performed fantastic for a long time, and I hope you guys realize that there's not very many systems that would have given you that many chances to cash out with tons of profit. So again, I hope you're enjoying the fact that I'm playing longer and showing you the good and the bad of every system. I tell you what, this system worked fantastic for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and place the bets one more time just so you guys can see them again. Again, it was $25 on third column. It was $25 on each of these splits here. Because I really enjoyed playing this, and man, we had really good success for a long time. And but you know, you want to get in and get out with systems like this. So then we had $10 on each of these corner bets. So we had the 25s on top, the 10s on the corner bets, and then we had the 10 on the 0, and then make sure that's right. Back that up there, and that was pretty much the bet there. So 25 on the third column, 25 on each of the splits, 10 on the 0, and 10 on those corners. So just wanted to put those out there again so that you guys could see the bets again. And remember, the triggers were 400 and 800. When you got down 400 or 800, you doubled. And we went a long time when that wasn't necessary, though. And I hope you really enjoyed today's video, and let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Also, let me know if you guys have seen some crazy stuff in the casino, like they just saw with this lady getting kicked out, and that's pretty nuts. So again, also too, please subscribe to the channel, but do it for yourself, guys. I think you'll really enjoy this community. You'll enjoy you know, talking back and forth in the comments, and there's a lot of smart people in this community that can really help you. And you know, I like to help you guys as well. So you know, send me comments every day. I love seeing your guys' feedback, and but subscribe for you guys. I think you'll get a lot out of it, and I really appreciate everyone's support as well. So this is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.